All right, this one, the moral law, objective morality. You guys, how many people in here, show of hands, thinks there is clear difference between right and wrong, and you can tell it most of the time? How many people would raise their hand? Okay. You're not going to see that in culture anymore. You're not going to see it. All right, premise one. If objective moral values and duties do not exist, God does not exist. Objective means, regardless of your opinion, this is right or wrong. If there is no such thing as being able to tell, besides your opinion, what's right or wrong, there can't be a God. But objective moral values and duties do exist. You follow me so far? So what's the conclusion? God exists. This is, if you can just realize how simple this is, okay? How do you know that's true? That's a little tougher. You've got to think a little bit. We're going to look at that with some evidence. How do you know that's true? Right? Does it make sense? Right? So if this makes sense, there has to be a God. Now, how do you know this one's true? Because, again, it's self-evident. People know. Nobody in here would let somebody come in their driveway and take their car. Nobody would let them come in and say, I really like your car and I've been looking for one. Can I have the keys, please? Right? The first thing you would say is, it's my car. You have no right to take my car. Okay. So, but here's back to Julian's point. Here's what we're taught. Kids are taught in universities and schools. There's no God, enjoy your life. In a universe of blind forces, genetic replication, some people are going to get hurt. Other people are going to get lucky. You won't find any rhyme or reason, nor justice. The universe we observe has precisely the properties we should expect if there's no design, no purpose, no good and evil, nothing but blind, pitiless indifference. DNA neither knows nor cares. It just is, and we dance to its music. In other words, we're programmed like animals. This is evolutionary biology. There's no right or wrong. People just do what they do. This is what's taught in our schools. That's right. Look at this guy, William Proving. He recently died. He was at Cornell University, right? People pay a lot of money to go to Cornell University, all right? Let me summarize my views on what modern evolutionary biology teaches us loud and clear. There's no gods, no purposes, no goal-directed forces. There's no life after death. When I die, I'm absolutely certain I'm going to be dead. That's the end for me. There's no ultimate foundation for ethics. There's no ultimate meaning to life, no free will for humans either. All right, we sit here in church and we go, how silly that sounds. This is what is taught. You follow me? It's inescapable if Darwinian evolution is true. That's what he's saying. It's very sobering, guys. The church needs to be out there challenging this because our young people grow up with this and they end up in Congress seats and determining, dictating government policy for us. This whole idea of how obvious premise 2 is, right? Objective moral and values exist. This is one of my favorites. This is Calvin and Hobbes, right? I don't believe in ethics anymore. As far as I'm concerned, the end justify the means. You'll hear this all the time. This is Marxism, by the way. This is the way Marxism functions. Get what you can while the getting's good. That's what I say. Might makes right. The winners write the history books. It's a dog-eat-dog world, so I'll do whatever I have to. Let others argue about whether it's right or wrong. Hey! What'd you do that for? You're in my way. Now you're not. The ends justify the means. I didn't mean for everyone, just for me. Subjective morality, right? This is our culture. We know the difference. So if I have rights, there has to be an objectively moral obligation on others to allow me to exercise those rights. Otherwise, rights make no sense. How can I have rights if there's no objective moral standard that someone has to allow me to exercise those? If I have a right to life, that only makes sense if you have a moral obligation not to kill me. That doesn't work in war. I can't charge the battlefield and go, can't shoot me, I have a right to life, right? No, you do not have a right to life, you're in war. But our Declaration, our Constitution, literally say we have a right to life, and that's why we have laws. Because there's a moral obligation on everyone else to allow me to have life. Does this make sense? This is so simple. And yet, we're living in a culture swimming in subjective moral standards that says there's no right because we're teaching in school we're an accident, we're not a special creation from God.